When you call police, there's a high chance the officer who shows up will be a white man. But as the I-Team is finding out, officers in leadership position are even more likely to be white.
SHAUN Gallagher spoke with some of the state's African-American leaders in law enforcement about the efforts being done to increase diversity.
Almost 97 years ago, the Milwaukee Police Department swore in Judson Walter Minor Jr., the first African-American on the force. Since then, a lot of black cops have risen through the ranks across the state, but it's still rare for somebody of color to reach the top spot in their departments.
I'm proud of the skin that God gave me, and I'm proud of the experiences that God gave me. Each one of those was a gift to prepare me for today.
Of the 562 law enforcement agencies surveyed by the Wisconsin Department of Justice, only 12 are led by an African American. I spoke with 4 over Zoom: Beloit Police Chief Andre SAYLES, MONONA Police Chief Brian CHANEY Austin, Waukesha Police Chief Dan Thompson, and Milwaukee Acting Chief Jeffrey Norman.
And I recognize I'm a man of color, but as Chief Thompson talks about, we also recognize our high responsibility to all diverse backgrounds.
In the DOJ report, the I-Team found African Americans make up just 2% of all law enforcement leaders in the state. The I-Team tried to compare to other states, but most don't keep a record like this. These 4 chiefs all agree it wasn't smooth sailing to the top.
Just quick raise of hands for all 4 of you. How many of you have been profiled by a police officer?
I wasn't maybe profiled, I was profiled as a kid.
Chief Brian CHANEY Austin says his interactions with the Chicago police as a kid became so frequent, he would immediately stop and put his hands up in the air when he saw them. But one interaction changed his view on police forever.
He was simply stopping to introduce himself. I'd seen you in the neighborhood. I've worked in this precinct for years. If you ever need anything, you know to reach out to the police. We're here to help you. That completely 100% changed my outlook on policing.
Beloit Chief Andre SAYLES said he was regularly profiled growing up in a small, predominantly white city in Iowa.
Police show up at our house and they were like, yeah, you guys were at Jack and Jill stealing.
He says he was pulled over more times than he can count, and his belongings routinely searched.
You stopped me for speeding. You said I was going 71 into 65. Why are you taking all my stuff out of my car? Because I said I want to know what they know or what they think they know about certain groups of people.
The public conversation around race and policing opened up in the last year after George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. And as leaders of their respective departments, those conversations happen internally as well.
All our minority officers at the Beloit Police Department have the opportunity to go to briefings on Wednesdays and talk about some things that they may see that their white counterparts don't.
Now these leaders are taking those experiences to try and make institutional change and improve police-community relations. All acknowledge an effort to increase diversity in their individual departments.
Done over the last 5 years, we went from having 3 African-American police officers with the Beloit Police Department to where we're at 9 now. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll be at 10.
The more diverse we are, the better we are as a community, and we should reflect the community.
We got to be able to be comfortable with diversity. And diversity and humanity, it's kind of like goes hand in hand in regards to that. I'm comfortable enough to have discussions with someone who can give me the Latino experience, or someone who can give me the Caucasian experience, or someone who can give me the African-American experience. In fact, we're stronger because of that.
We got a long ways to go.
The focus on hiring more diverse candidates isn't just centered around race. The chiefs I spoke with say they want to get more women involved in law enforcement because right now there are only 28 women who head up law enforcement agencies across the state. Reporting for the I-Team, I'm SHAUN Gallagher.
All right, this graphic shows a discrepancy in population size and police chiefs who are African American. In cities with more than 250,000 people, almost 20% of police chiefs are African American. In communities of fewer than 100,000 people, just 4% of police chiefs are black, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics.